Mrs. Fodor?
Present.
Mr. Jernerbro?
Present.
Mr. Kelly?
Here.
Mr. Cole?
Here.
Mrs. Pastrini?
Here.
And Mr. Robinson?
Present.
All are present.
Please rise if you're able. Trustee Robinson's going to lead us in the pledge this evening.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, Ms. Lyons. Has anybody signed up? To
We
speak
have no
today?
speakers this evening.
No speakers. Pat counts. All right, we'll take it. Before you have the meeting minutes from August 6, 2026. Please review them at this time. I want to thank Trustee Coates for for filling it for me. Right?
Yes, don't say sticking to them.
There was a Freudian slip, sir.
Motion to approve. Second.
Questions and or comments? Do you have any comments for the good of the cause, Ms. House?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, sorry, do not.
We do have a first and second, but, oh, you know what? All in favor? Opposed?
I'm going to abstain.
Too late.
No.
I didn't say aye.
Next, we have the accounts payable for August 20th, 2026. Please review that at this time. The amount of $764,374.74. Any questions?
Just one, is this the final payment to LAMP?
No, sorry, it's not.
About how much is left, do we estimate?
There is a few $100,000 still in retainage, and then I don't know if we have additional payments left to them.
But the retainage is like what we will until they do the punch list and EEI signs off, right?
There's a couple of outstanding things that I've been dealing with, change orders and stuff that I finally got settled on Tuesday. So some of those will be coming through. There is probably still a little bit more of the landscaping to do, but there are still outstanding actual bills.
We can get that information to you via electronic method.
Yeah.
In the next week or so, right? I would think. Just an idea, ballpark, 30,000 put over you.
For sure.
Thank you.
It's okay, I just was wondering, because we hadn't seen it in a while and it was a couple $100,000, and so I didn't know where we stood on the project since we're in there, and I didn't think they were doing construction still, so.
So some of those are just invoices that were questioned and some of the change orders that were questioned. And I needed to solve up some stuff.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Any other questions for the accounts payable?
Just have one for page 10, the Ironwood Environmental for a state inspection, and I just wondered what state inspection. So that was an IEPA requirement in preparation for the potential of demolishing the house at 981 South State Street by fire. So it was an asbestos inspection, I believe. Okay. Okay.
There's more to come on that. There's just it's a matter of we are trying to evaluate what to do with 981, right? That's been a topic of conversation. The fire department had been using that home for training. The fire department is no longer using said home for training, and now it violates a lot of the building codes and ordinances that we have in its current state. We've gotten some complaints from neighbors about the condition of said home. So we're evaluating what to do with said property. It was a hot button topic for a while in the community, right? Because there's some historical nature to that, but we have offered it to the Historical Society multiple times and offered it to anybody that wanted to redo said house, and we've had no interest. We also, to this point, we've had multiple tire kickers on the property in general, but nobody's ever wanted to do anything with it. So at this point, as this board has spoken about, it's hard for us to enforce ordinances in this town when we violate our own. And so staff was asked or instructed, if you will, to kind of come up with an idea of what to do with that house. And so that's what that's about. So that's not saying that we're going to bring it down. That's not saying we're gonna knock it down. That's not saying we're gonna sell it, but we're gonna come up with some ideas and then present it to the board later.
Thank you.
Just don't want rumors getting out there, so now it's thoroughly explained. Any other questions? I will entertain a motion to approve the regular accounts payable.
So moved.
Second. Questions and or comments? Ms. Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Ms. Jernerbro?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Mr. Coe?
Aye.
Ms. Palastrellini?
Aye.
Mr. Robinson?
Aye.
And Ms. Fodor?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
The C House, and I'm gonna ask you to lead me through A, B, and C tonight, if you would. So we'll start with resolution 2639, approving the letter of credit reduction for Oakstead Neighborhood A. I think that's self-explanatory, correct?
Tim is on it, because obviously, they did all the punch lists. So Tim, do you want to speak to that?
Yeah, it's pretty, as you mentioned, President Reed, pretty self-explanatory. They've completed the public improvements for neighborhood A, which is across the street from the elementary school out there. This is not an acceptance of public improvements. It's just a reduction of the letter of credit for what they've done.
Does anyone have any questions for staff or Mr. Paulson? Thank you for being here, by the way, sir. Virtually.
Just one, Mr. Paulson, is the 391,494, is that just what's left of the, what we have to retain? Or is that still?
There are a few items, a couple of small items that are not complete. So it represents, it's 10% of everything that's done, plus that's still holding 125% of the things that aren't done.
Okay.
Any other questions? I'll entertain a motion approving resolution 2639, letter of credit reduction for Oakstead Neighborhood A.
So moved.
Yeah.
Whichever,
Very good.
whatever came.
Okay, whatever, Karen. So whatever, Karen, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Mr. Coe?
Aye.
Ms. Palastrellini?
Aye.
Mr. Robinson?
Aye.
Ms. Fodor?
Aye.
And Ms. Jernerbro?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Okay, next on our agenda, we have approving a contract with the Midwest Salt LLC for rock salt in the amount of $187,856. Ms. Seehausen, this is a little bit different than we've normally done, correct?
Correct. So usually we go out to bid with the state bid contract. We received an email, our allotted amount did not get bid on. There was probably 126 other communities and or tollways, but did not, nobody bid on our state thing. So we had 1 week to either find our own salt and go out on our own, or to sign up with the state on a contingent basis with no guarantee to get the salt and still be at the higher rate. So that was not an option for us, right? We're not going to roll the dice and not have salt. So we got 2 bids. This one for Midwest was, obviously it's more than what the state bid was. There's no doubt about that, right? And we had 2 bids. The other one was $11.71 a ton higher, but they also wanted us to pay for it all up front. With Midwest, who also does our salt for our water treatment plant, was cheaper, and it also allowed us to do it as we go. We're still getting the same amount, but usually it's when we pick it up is when they bill it. So we chose to go with Midwest. It's number 1, it's cheaper. Number 2, it was more to we pay as we go, as we use. But this is definitely out of the norm. Probably the first time in 30 years that I've been in this world that this has ever happened.
You know, because normally we buy the state, we buy a certain amount, and then we have to take it at the end of the year, even if we don't use it.
Yeah, and we want to be prepared, right? So like we took our last dose of salt for our last year contract. So we are ready, to go if something happens before this all gets thing. But we literally had 7 days to make a decision.
She wasn't a very happy person when she was out of salt.
I don't
I'm
think
not
any of
talking
us
from
would
her.
be, right? So I would not roll in that dice.
No, she
So I wanted to make sure that we were covered. So
she did a great job with this procuring it, finding it, and coming up with a solution, because when she called and said, we may not have salt, I was like, oh no, not again. We did.
Dave was good. Dave made the calls. He was pretty shocked as well. And, I talked to a couple of my other contacts to see if we couldn't get salt. So obviously I have some other neighbors that I could have borrowed, so, got salt from and paid for it. But this was by far the best choice for the village.
See, why did they change it? I mean, it just,
So, when Dave talked to the salt people, they say that there's gonna be a shortage. So I don't know if on the state contract bid, they were only allowed to bid. I didn't know when you bid that you could only pick and choose what towns you were bidding on. Like, I thought, that if you're gonna do a bid, you gotta bid the whole project, right? But obviously that's not the case here because we weren't the only ones, that didn't get bid on. But it had everybody scrambling. All of these companies that we called were getting bombarded with calls because, we had this issue at the end of last year, if you remember, it was on the news and everything where, it took us 3 weeks to even get some of our stuff that we had already been guaranteed. So I don't know if this is an overflow of that. But at the end of the day, Dave did a good job calling, getting the service as best we can. Not that we wanted to spend additional funds, but we needed to guarantee that we would have salt for our streets. So this is kind of one.
what's the difference from what we paid last year to what we're gonna pay this year?
About 36%, if I had to guess. Understand this is MFT funds. We can still use the funds that we're supposed to, okay? So it is not, and it's not like we don't have MFT funds to utilize this, to make sure that we're okay to get through this year. And so even though we didn't get the state bid because it's still for salt, we will be still utilizing the same funds that we would normally utilize.
Where would a community member go to see which communities were included in the state bid and which ones were not?
I think we have everything on a spreadsheet that they sent us.
So it's not something the state publishes or?
You could probably FOIA it from the state if, the list that we got is not our property. But I would, if anybody called here, I would refer them to the state.
I thought I remember last year we didn't use as much salt, right?
We did.
No, we used to, the problem was last year, we didn't have a whole lot of snow, but we had a lot of snow or ice events.
Ice, yeah.
So we didn't have a lot of like measurable snow in the traditional sense, but because it would only snow an inch here, a half inch here, or would get icy overnight and stuff, we used a heck of a lot of salt.
We did a lot of pre-treating, and even though some of the snow that, David's really good about pre-treating our streets, so that the, overnight stuff that was supposed to come, he wouldn't have to come out, really early for anything, but we did mostly because of the ice.
Because we have Click Street and the new facility, even if this year, because I know none of us are weather people, but they're talking about super El Nino and a lot less moisture this year in our area. We're like when you look at all the maps of what they're saying. So if that were to happen, we have 1,600 tons listed here. We have enough capacity to store all 1,600.
We do, because we will have to take ownership of it all
That's why I was asking, because of the clause that says that whatever you don't take, you have to pay an additional $8 a ton.
Yeah, no, we will take it all.
Okay.
But by the time, because you got a year, right? So we will take it all. Even if we don't use it through the winter months, we will take it before our year is up in preparation for the beginning of the next year.
Oh, it says March of 27, so it's next spring you have to take it all.
We will take it.
Okay.
Any other questions about the rock salt? I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution 2640, approving a contract with Midwest Salt LLC.
So moved.
Thank you. Any questions or comments, sir? All forward. Ms. Clerk, can you go roll, please?
We have a second.
Yes.
Mr. Coe?
Aye.
Mrs. Palastrellini?
Aye.
Mr. Robinson?
Aye.
Mrs. Fodor?
Aye.
Mrs. Jernerbro? Aye. Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Okay, so next is a standard request from the Hampshire Township Cemetery Board for the disbursement of impact fees. As you guys remember, we're just kind of the bank in this conversation. It's their money. It was, it's rightfully theirs, and as per all the development agreements, according to state statute, we hold on to it and they have to ask for it. It's a dumb kind of way to do it because it's their cash, but here it is. Any questions?
They sent a formal ask.
They
Yes.
did send a formal ask. Some of the projects, if you would like to know, are the gravestone cleaning, the shed removal, some software purchases and some electrical work along with normal maintenance.
Yeah, I agree with what you said, President Reed. It's their money. I don't care what they're gonna spend it on. It's their money, not ours. I think it's weird that we make people formally ask us for their own money. And I just know we've asked other organizations. That's why I only asked because it wasn't in the packet. And I'm like, as long as they officially ask, is there any way we can change those agreements to say you don't have to ask and we'll do monthly disbursements? We do it with transition
It's
fees.
state statute that requires it, I believe, and for transition fees, they just get them. But impact fees, they need that.
What if they did one letter at the beginning of the year that just said, please send us our impact fees in the months of January, February, March, April, May, and did every month? And then that's their request for the year.
I can look into it. I don't believe that would comply with the state statute. I get
It doesn't matter, it's only a 2-minute deal.
So like,
right.
did the.
I mean, it literally should just,
Yeah.
Oh,
if it's that, then can it just be an email where they say, please send us the funds?
Well, that's pretty much what it was this last year. Yeah, so because we all are the same way, I mean, it used to be, when I first got on the board, they had to come make a presentation.
I know, that's why I'm saying, I was the park board president and I had to stand here and say what we wanted to spend our own money.
Yeah, oh yeah, right, yeah,
Whether
okay.
it was the,
Yeah, and so we don't
and
play
I'm
those
like,
games.
it's our money, but okay, this is the.
We don't really play those games, like, honestly, so Trevor Herman is the president of the cemetery board. He emailed us and said, hey, can we have our money? This is what we're gonna do with it, and then now it's on the agenda.
It'd be
That's
great,
it.
maybe we just, I don't know, let the people that we hold these funds for know, like, just send us the email to say, I would like my
Yep.
funds.
Yep.
And that's
simple, right?
pretty much what we've done.
Yeah.
That's why there's no formal.
Yeah. It's their money.
Any other questions or conversation? I'll entertain a motion to approve the dispensement of impact.
I'll move it.
Questions, comments? Yeah. This Monday was clerk. Can you call the roll, please?
Ms. Palastrellini?
Aye.
Mr. Robinson?
Aye.
Ms. Fodor?
Aye.
Ms. Jernerbro?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Mr. Coe?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Okay, now, for old business this evening, Mr. Vaselli and Ms. Seehausen, can you help me through this, please?
Sure. Okay, thank you. So, I'm drawing your attention to, thank you, Mr. Chair. Drawing your attention to item 8, old business A, ordinance number 2637, approving a special use for an outdoor material processing and storage for property identified as PIN 0124300017 and 0124300009. If some of you were absent when this came through the first time, but this was a part of a number of land use related ordinances, meaning annexation, rezoning, and I think a variance. And the annexation passed, the rezoning passed, the variance passed, and the special use permit failed, essentially because of the procedural numbers required under the municipal code. The petitioners, as they have a right to do under Robert's Rules of Order, the 12th edition, have asked us to put this back on the agenda. This is consistent with the plan of the other ordinances. So this special use permit was actually something that was in alignment with everything else that the board did approve, and actually gave additional protections to the village by way of conditions to ensure the use that went on there was not a more heavy or more obstructive use to the community. As such, we try to be good business partners, and they did want to do business with the village. Based on that request, it is a reasonable one. It is permitted under Article 28 of the 12th edition of Robert's Rules of Order, which we are governed by as a municipal body in the state of Illinois. They want us to vote on this again or consider this again. And again, a lot of legal mumbo jumbo in that. Essentially, the 3 out of the 4 passed, the 4th didn't. The 4th was in alignment with the other 3. It can come back here under law. That's in human being talk, not player English.
Okay, so in human being talk, you made reference, about how this protects the village, this special use ask.
Yeah, 100%.
So can you explain it in human being talk?
Sure, and I'm gonna turn it over to more of a human being than me, Mo, in a second, but the whole nature of a special use permit is to have conditions. And those conditions limit what an end user can use on the property. Council has agreed to certain conditions, not that that matters in a legislative action, but they know that if this special use permit goes through, that there's only certain things they can do. I believe this one is the M2 zoning district. M2 zone. One is that M2 zoning district. It was one of our heavier districts, but with the conditions of the special use, they could, you know, if you could take it from there.
There was three conditions recommended by staff that the planning and zoning commission approved with the special use recommendation to the village board. The first is the special use shall only apply to maritime construction. It shall not be transferred to a new business. If the use shall cease operations for a period of 6 consecutive months, the special use shall be considered null and void. And the third, a solid fence or wall of a minimum 6 feet in height shall be provided on the perimeter of the site. So those were the three recommended conditions of approval passed by the Planning and Zoning Commission for the village board to consider with the vote.
So while we are, thank you, that was awesome. This was not planned. So while we are giving an additional grant, if this is approved, in reality, it actually provides further protections for the residents, for the privacy fence, for example, for the termination of use if there's a different end user and no successors of the signs. So for that reason, I want to bring that to your attention, because while it is an additional grant because of a special use permit, that special use permit also imposes additional conditions on the end user, which is more of an imposition than what we've got right now. In other words, in human being talk, our position increases as a village board or for our residents and protections if this does go through. Fair?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what I was trying to understand, is because normally when you get a special use, it says, hey, we're gonna allow you to do something additional on your property, but in this specific case, it's being stated that it's actually restricting their ability to do stuff on that property for just this use, for this one user, and it is, as a condition of the special use, they need to put up the fence.
The fence is a big part of it.
And so, and if we don't pass this, there's no restriction to the fence, correct? There's no requirement for them to put that up.
There's no requirement for them to put that up. The fence, when you say that, you mean the fence?
Correct.
There's no requirement for them to put that, that up. And the uses, what are some of the other uses in the M2 district now?
When we pull up, there's quite a few.
Like I said, this was not, No's great, he's helping us out. But it is, a lot of the uses in the M2, for those of us who were around a couple of years ago, we remember the M2 district is that very heavy district. And what this is, we are limiting that to just those uses. Give me some, Mo, whenever you get a chance.
So I'm just gonna list them down. We have greenhouses, we have internal combustion engine assembly, machine shop, metal stamping, motor vehicle body repair, contractor yards, plastic fabrication, and then everything allowed in the M1 district, which would include various manufacturers, brew pubs, leather product assembly, light machinery, parking lots. So a variety of manufacturing and warehouse uses.
So we are winnowing those uses by the conditions of the special use down from those arduous uses, those heavy uses from the M1 and M2.
Can you tell me, around this, down the street, Zinga's concrete plants there, are they M2? Because they got an old crusher, and I'm sure that this new crusher has got a lot more IEPA requirements and conditions than what they're running off of.
While you're looking that up, I would like to just, clarify, point of clarification.
Sure.
My understanding is the special use expands usage in an M2 to include the use case given and includes everything else that an M2 can do by ordinance. But this is saying, in addition to all that M2 can do, plus these additional things that we're voting on, here are the 3 things that we're also asking you to do, which is non-transferable, 6 months, and the fence.
And for this end user for that use. Because this is what they do.
I understand, but if they change what they do and it's still within M2, it's not restricted in that area.
If they change what they do,
If they say, I want to start doing heavy engine assembly, they can do that in an M2.
they can do that in M2, but not under this special use.
I thought a special use expands usage of a district, not restricts it.
But we limit it to what their application came through with that special use. So they are limiting themselves. They're saying we're only doing that. If you keep the special use out, yeah, they can do it. Right now, they could go in there and put in a heavy manufacturing
Right.
industry.
I understand what it's going to be used for. I guess where I'm confused is we've always talked about special use as it expands the potential uses of an area, not restricts.
But there's conditions that,
But the
The
conditions
conditions are, has to be for that company.
for that use for that company.
and the use,
No. It says the special use shall only apply to this construction inc. and shall not be transferred to a new business.
right,
That's
To
a
a
company,
business.
that's not a use. The
Okay,
second thing says, if the use shall cease operations for a period of 6 months, then the special use consideration is null and void. So if they're not doing concrete crushing and storage, then they can't do it because the special use doesn't do it. And the third one is the fence. None of them say you can't do anything else in an M2. I don't care if they do. I'm just saying we shouldn't present it as though it restricts it to only.
Mr. Chair, we have the attorney here, and I think he's gonna say that their understanding of it is they're gonna use it for this use, and that's what the combination of the first and second condition means as well. Is that correct, sir?
Yeah, and good evening. My name is Scott Richmond from the South Elgin firm of Ariano Hardy Ritt. I'm here with Robert Kuchervetz, the principal of Martin Construction. And yes, what Mr. Vaselli is saying is correct. I mean, they're not looking to run leather shops out of the use or anything like that. They are a construction company, and the special use is so that they can store materials outside, ranging from asphalt to dirt to stone to the concrete, and then also as part of that process, that concrete.
So they cannot do that right now currently without the special use.
So they could put up a tannery.
Right. They can do anything they want to do, just not what their business is, correct?
right.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and all I'm saying is, if this were to pass, they could still open a tannery, but they could also do what their actual business is.
No, because their application came in through this use. It is a special use. This council, was there anything in your application that indicated in any manner that it was gonna be used for anything other than this?
No.
Okay, so they are limited by that application.
Okay, so then are you saying that anybody that comes before the board for a special use in a zoning area can then only do in that area what is listed in the special
Okay,
use and
ask for
nothing
the
else
use.
permitted in
Yeah.
that zoning area?
When you ask, it's like if I went, can I make an analogy? It's like if I went to court and I asked for money rather than some sort of thing like a deed, I can only then go after that court. You are limited by the relief that you request. And again, special uses are weird. There's different ways that people look at them and how they go with regular uses or permitted uses by right uses. So yeah, they are limited by that, and I think council will make a very clear representation. If it's satisfied with the board one more time, that will be recorded in the minutes verbatim, Madam Clerk, that says this is their only intended use. There is no other uses that they go, and if there's anything that I'm wrong that I'm saying, correct me right now.
No, there's nothing for me to correct. They are looking to operate their construction business on site, which includes what we've asked for in the special uses, the outdoor storage and processing of material outdoors.
So before we get into a discussion, it's been requested by the board that the video be played and then show the pictures.
Just to answer trustee Cole's question, the singles app 3.
Oh, the video.
And then we can get into a discussion after the video is played.
And that's fine. I just wanted to, one of the pictures I brought, which is in what I had sent to Mr. Khan, has to do with the radiuses around, and I think it'd be instructive to kind of show you that, because I think when we were here last time, I think one of the issues that was being discussed a lot was how far this facility and the crushing operations will be from other properties. And so if it's okay, Mr. President, I would just show the board and you a couple of pictures that my client created There's two here. So
These are in the package.
Yeah.
they are in the packet.
So if you're gonna just refer to them by the town and then we'll look at
Okay,
it. So the
so-
first one in our packet's Elgin.
Yeah, so this is their current facility in Elgin, and as you can see on that, they are in the middle of a industrial area with residences surrounding that. They do operate the crusher that would be brought here in that radius, and that's where I guess the red dot is in the picture. And so, what they show here is what is in a 10-foot radius, 100-foot radius, 1,000-foot radius, so on and so forth. They have been operating that crusher there for quite a while and have had no complaints from the neighbors with regard to any dust issues infiltrating adjoining sites. And as you can see, there's quite a bit that surrounds them that if they were affecting it, there would be plenty of people complaining. What the second picture has to do with the Briar Hill location that we are seeking the special use for. And they have essentially pinpointed on the site where the crusher would be placed, which is closer to the railroad tracks. And as you can see, the closest house and the Allen's Corner area and to the south are both over 1,300 feet away, which is a significant distance. Another house over 1,700 feet away. When Mo is able to play the video, you'll see that the crusher crushes the concrete, and there is a little bit of dust. We're not saying there's no dust, because there is, but it doesn't travel far. And you'll see in the video that there is a water tank that connects into the crusher that supplies water to mitigate the dust. The other thing I wanted to point out, and I realized we didn't say this last time, crushing is not an everyday thing for this business. They do it around 60 days a year when they have material. They don't even always have material, but this isn't a 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year. It is roughly 60 days. It may be a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, but it is not an all the time thing. So we just wanted to point that out. You can see the video, which actually shows how the crusher operates, and then we can certainly answer any questions.
Sound, there's no sound?
The sound doesn't go through the laptop to the TV, unfortunately.
Yeah. So. It kicks about the same amount of dust up as a grinder grinding asphalt. Yeah, that doesn't matter. Yeah.
So it's the way that the video is being shared.
And that's the same crusher that's going to be used
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, it'll be moved here.
It'll be moved here.
Yeah, and there's just one. There's not multiple.
It's a new crusher. It's an electrical hydraulic. It's much quieter, a lot quieter than old, and more efficient. And
You said it's electric.
I mean, you can see a little bit of smoke like dumping in, but it's not like, it's all over the place.
Is that the one?
There's a hose that goes into where the rock will come out if let's. See, see the hose. That's the water tank right there.
So, and obviously, last time some of you weren't here, but The reason we need to move is I'm running out of room. I have no room for expansion or growth and so on and so forth. The parcel here is perfect size, for the company to grow. I need to build a larger facility for employees, a bigger shop for mechanics, and, you know, a larger yard because we own over 200 pieces of equipment, and it's just, I don't have enough room in that, where we're at now. And, I can't, the power company owns the property adjacent, they won't sell, you know, so it's a big issue. So, and we've been in there since 1993, and we've been crushing for well over 20 years, and I wouldn't put a building or facility there if it was harmful for my employees, you know. So, I mean, we're planning on setting up shop and investing a lot of money into this property to move our main headquarters here. So,
We have a saw cutting ordinance on the books. This would comply with that, trustee Cole?
That's dry cut.
Dry cutting. This would comply with the ordinance that we have?
Yeah, they're using water, so whatever dust that creates through the jaws, the pressure and going up the conveyor, that's not the same as a partner saw on a sidewalk with no water.
They were doing that in my neighbor's backyard the other day.
All the crops on.
It looked like it was, it looks like it was like a big fire and it was just silica. Like it was terrible.
Yeah, these are nothing like that.
when you have a blade going 5,000 RPM, and it just pulverizes it, it goes everywhere.
OSHA won't allow it.
OSHA won't allow it, yeah. Essentially, that's really a slow-mo version.
The water is.
So it takes a long time. This is regular.
I go bankrupt.
We
with
want
that page, so.
No. Okay.
I'm good, I don't
Oh,
need
that's
much.
what I don't-
There we go. No.
Stay down
Okay,
pretty
no.
fast. We could go at 2 times speed. But I think it's.
So from the village's perspective, you guys have kind of covered why this is important. I was kind of in the campus, trustee Kelly, where you only grant special uses to add uses and that kind of thing. And so in this particular case, are we adding a use that they cannot do in M2 as it is currently, or
They need a special use because they need the storage inside.
So it's the storage, not the rock. So if they want, so help me understand that.
Yeah.
If they wanted to come out here and just put that crusher in the middle as it is right now,
Yeah. I think.
Can they
Go on, yeah.
Can I jump in?
yeah.
No,
So our zoning ordinance says anything outdoor activity, essentially. So storage, processing, anything that's gonna be outdoors and not within a building can go through and get a special use. They can request a special use, they go through the process for it to be, voted on by the village board. So if they were just doing the processing of the concrete or just storage of it, they will still need a special use either way.
Speak.
No,
You get your mouth going like.
Yeah, I just don't, I don't think, what you were doing is a smart exercise. You were teasing out the issues, right? But I don't think it works to de-isolate it like that with the
No,
industry.
and I understand that, but what I'm trying to do is understand it, because I was one of the guys that was absent last time.
Yeah, no, I understand.
So I'm trying to wrap my head around it too.
Yeah, I get it.
Can I have to make the request, Mr. Khan, that you email us that link so that we can,
The video.
just the link that we got in the.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was broken, so.
Yeah, I'll send the Word document and the PDF document. That'll have the link that should work. I'm not sure why it didn't work in the Word
Can I
that
send
software.
it now, so before we vote?
Oh, you want it right now?
Yeah, so I can
They
watch that without it stuttering. Yeah,
Give me a second.
okay, thank you, sorry.
Mr. Chair, I think I want to make sure whatever it is that we give the voting members as much information as possible.
Absolutely.
I'm not certain that he wants to say something, but normally when people stand at a podium, they have something. to say. If we recognize the attorney for the petition.
Oh, thank you. And the only thing I wanted is to point out is just, part of this, the special use is outdoor storage. And, I brought some of the pictures, these were in the packet, but, you can see there are piles of material. There's also equipment that gets stored outside. So, the crushing operation is an important part. But storage of materials outside is critical to this business. I mean, they can't build buildings for all the material. So they bring in, they have asphalt that they grind. That doesn't really do anything dust wise, but, they have piles of material, they store equipment outside. All of that is part of the special use, to be able to do that on this site. And that's what they need in order to operate their business. As Robert said, 200, pieces of machinery, some of them were inside, but really a lot are not. And so that is why we have asked, and I appreciate all the assistance that Mr. Bazzelli and Mo Khan have given us in this regard, to get back here tonight. That's why we're seeking the reconsideration, and hopefully we can get a positive vote and then move this project forward, because Robert is very anxious to try and get ownership of the property and then start planning a new facility here.
Mr. President, correct me if I'm wrong, but that concrete company that moved in at 20 in Big Timber, they're storing lumber, forms, equipment, and everything outside as well, right?
I don't think that they're doing a whole lot of on the outside. I think they built a big building to put it all on the inside.
They put their trucks and stuff.
Yeah.
But if you go by there and look, they got sewer pipes out there.
Yeah, they do have some stuff. You're right.
Yeah, so they're not reinventing the wheel here. It's a construction company. I think everybody on the board is smart enough to know what construction companies do, especially being general contractors and road contractors.
Sorry for the lull. We're now watching said videos.
At 3 times speed, which is.
It is pretty quick.
Yeah. Sure.
Then slow mo.
Yeah.
Wonders of birthday.
For those that are watching
Yeah, that's.
at home later, just know it was the same video, just much faster.
Oh.
You can really see the water tank.
That's what I see.
Still no sound though.
That's okay.
It's probably a lot quieter than what the cement company, the ready mix company's crusher is, because that's an old dinosaur.
And you said they're M3 across the way.
Oh, they have it? Yeah, I'm great.
Would they have needed a special use for the fencing and all that in M3?
I'd have to look into that.
There was scary as it is, I did the zoning for that over 30 years ago. I did. There was some special uses, I don't recall exactly what they were for, but that was, because that was the whole concrete plan was a whole new thing to the village at the time. So yes, I'm that old.
No, well, the reason I was asking, was there a reason why M2 was applied for with a special use over going to M3? That's why,
For this request,
correct.
to prevent, there was a similar project that came with M3, and the board kind of had the direction of not letting M3 just be the baseline. So the staff, said the direction would be to apply for the M2 zoning with a special use.
Sure.
So there's a little bit more control over the zoning.
Fair enough. That's why I was asking. Thank you.
Can I ask a question about the video?
Yeah.
Okay. As we're watching the video and watching the pressure, there's a
I'm sorry.
large container sitting near the conveyor belt. Is that like all the metal?
The Conex boxes?
Hmm?
You're talking about
The metal there.
It's probably a steel recycling bin.
It's picking the steel out.
Yeah, it's taking
Yeah.
the rebar and stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, it's got a magnet on it that draws the steel. So
That video is for me to vote. Way better.
Yeah.
If I call vote, you can.
I would like to call the vote.
All right.
Do we have,
So somebody has to make a motion.
Oh, I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Approve the special use.
Okay, we do have a first and a second. Is there any other discussion on the matter? Hearing none, I'll ask Ms. Clerk to call the vote.
Mr. Robinson?
Aye.
Mrs. Fodor? Aye. Mr. Jernerbro? Aye. Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Mr. Coe?
Aye.
Ms. Palastrellini? Aye. Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you very much for the further explanation and putting the board's mind at ease with this, and we look forward to a long extending the partnership. I think there's anything we do right now.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
The attorney's buying a copper barrel down.
Yeah, and all. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, sorry. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
And I have to say, the Village of Hampshire does a great job salting.
Should have said that before the flu.
Great. We have some staff reports this evening. Financial report, police report, and streets report. Please review them at this time. Chief Pan will be anxious to answer any questions about streets and finance, while Ms. Lyons will be anxious to answer anything about the police.
About the police?
Yeah.
I just have one comment on the finance one, and I'm a little embarrassed that I've never noticed this before. But what caught my eye was that the general fund's total budget for this, we call it stub year, was like 8.5 million. I'm like, I never remember seeing 8.5 million. So I went back to the budget, and it's not. It's 7 million some change. And I started wondering what the heck was going on with this. And it's not unless you scroll all the way down that you see that for some reason in this report, impact fees are considered sub-funds of the general fund. But in our budget, we don't treat them that way, and it doesn't show on the total balance of the general fund. They actually show us completely separate at the end of the budget, which, as we, hopefully the new software takes care of this, but that could cause confusion, because I started looking going, we never approved an $8.5 million general funds budget, because we didn't consider in that vote, or at least in the spreadsheet that we vote on for the budget, when it says total general fund, it doesn't include all of these impact fee funds. But in this report, it rolls them up under the general fund. So are impact fees a part of the general fund?
They're sub-funds of the general fund. Yes.
So like the police fund, right?
No, like, the cemetery impact fees,
Well, no, those I get. I know what the impact fees funds are.
Okay.
What I mean is when you look in our budget that we approved, and you don't have to go open it up, I'll just say, go under the top here, and you go under the general fund. There is the general fund, and then there's one called general fund police.
Oh,
And
it includes
general
all.
fund street. And
Yes,
so we segment all these out when we look at.
by
this.
department, yes.
So that's by department, but that's just the general fund.
That's still all general fund.
And so when we look at the budget and we look at total general fund revenue, total general fund expenses in the budget that's approved, that does not include the sub funds. But our treasurer's report rolls it up with the sub funds.
You're talking about the impact fees?
Yeah, because
So,
they're totally separate at the very
but
end.
if you look at those go to zero because,
That I understand. What I'm saying is when it's all lumped up and somebody pulls up our
yeah.
packet and looks at a treasurer's report and they see that our budget for the general fund is $8.5 million, that can be seen as, are we spending $8.5 million to run the village? And that's not the actual expense, because 750,000 of that is impact fees. That, as we just talked about tonight, is not our money. We're a custodian of that money for those other organizations, right?
correct.
Yeah.
I mean, we could exclude them altogether if you'd like, because like I said, they go to zero.
I just was comparing the treasure report to what we voted on in the budget, and I wasn't seeing the same numbers. And so I was just sharing, that's what I learned from this, and I don't know if we need to adjust the treasurer budget to match, but it was, and I apologize that I hadn't seen that before, but I probably should have.
So it's
I think
only
when
been
I
like
saw
that for a few years. This was a Gatsby change a few years ago, so perhaps you're recalling, like prior times where we actually had them listed separately.
Okay.
It's been a few years.
So when we vote on the next budget, and I'm asking because in a month, we're going to start budget process for next year. Are we going to need to approve the budget showing that these are sub-funds of the general fund, so everything is together. Because in the current budget that was approved on April 9th, 2026, the impact fees are all the way at the end of the packet as if they're completely separate.
So we've done a lot of reorganization of our chart of accounts, and all of those funds will be contiguous with the general fund, so they'll be easier to roll up, if you will.
Gotcha. Okay.
And they will show as officially sub-funds.
Okay.
Our system now is, in my opinion, wasn't set up correctly. Well, not incorrectly, but it wasn't organized very efficiently. So we have these various categories: the general fund, special revenue funds. All of our chart of accounts will be listed by fund, so that like all general funds will be starting with like 1 to 10. And then in the 20 to 29, we'll get our special revenue funds, so that they'll all be linked together versus currently, transportation, which is a special revenue fund, is at 64. And the TIF fund, which is also a special revenue fund, is fund number 5.
Okay.
So they're just all over the board. So we're
this next process, we'll see.
We're gonna be a lot more organized. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I just, like I said, when I saw the 8.5 million, I'm like, I swear I don't remember us talking about that big of a number for a stub year. So, apologies, but okay. Sorry, go down that path. I know trustee Coe wants to get out of here.
No, I don't. I'm fine.
He's retired.
Only when only when I'm saying something does he get upset.
That's not true at all.
I'm retired. I'll definitely worry.
I have 2 for our police chief. Just noted then that we did have another auto theft in the town, bringing us up to 6. And my usual question is, was that out of someone's driveway or from a parking lot somewhere?
Off the street.
Off the street. In the residential area?
Yes.
Okay.
I know you can't give details of active investigations, but is this an ongoing trend related to other potential thefts?
Yes. I was just gonna ask.
Okay.
Very
And
well
there's
phrased.
nothing we can do as a village for this.
We've done the things that we can do that I
Let's
can
get
do.
released again.
It's just the way it is.
It's a locker
Thank
on,
Catch and release system right now.
there's a locker on.
Or
can you say?
I think it was a lot. Yeah.
So, lock your cars.
Most of the break-ins are unlocked here.
Right.
We don't have that many where they bust a window to get in.
So in answer to your question, I would think, Mr. Kelly, we as a village can do one thing, and that's communicate to our residents that they need to lock their vehicles and cars. And it's not a matter of us blaming victims, as we've been accused of in the past. You know, when we say that you should lock your cars and then things will have less chance of happening, that's not us making it okay for criminals to come into town to steal our stuff. Lock your cars. Locks have been around for many, many years. Lock your cars.
I understand that.
If you're gonna strip a steering column, you're gonna be a lot more uncomfortable sitting in a car stripping the steering column with the window smashed out. Where if you can just open the door and get in and put the seat back and do what you gotta do.
Is it hard to hotwire a new car versus the older car?
It's Kias. I mean, I'll say that, and because it's public knowledge, pretty much. It's pretty much Kias. There's a certain year range of Kias that there's YouTube videos of how to steal.
You use a USB stick to start the car.
Yeah, I totally get that, and I don't disagree, like, hopefully we're all locking our cars. I also want to say that when it is a trend from a select group or individual, whatever it may be, I didn't know if there's something like we can have our attorney write the state's attorney or the county attorney to say this isn't like a one-time repeat thing.
Right.
This is consistent that this is going on. And
And they're consistently coming from the same place.
Yeah. Answer now, they're jealous.
That's what I was asking, like, is there something we as a village, I'm sure you and your team are doing everything that you can in your power, and it's out of your power when the judicial system says, oh, just catch and release. I understand that. I just didn't know if there's anything the village could do to support that.
I don't know.
I don't believe there is. I don't believe it. I understand your concern and you wish there was, but I'm not being flipped.
I don't think you are, sir.
Take it up with Springfield, like it's.
No, I don't think you are, and I understand the intent behind some of these.
Yeah,
I probably wouldn't say anything if it wasn't whatever this year has been. Sorry, it's hard to see 6 or 7, right? And we know exactly where it's happening,
Yeah.
like how it's happening. That's more than we've had in years, like over a year or multiple years.
yeah.
There's been 3 or 4 arrests on the same suspect.
That's what I mean, and I didn't know if there's something we can do to support the efforts that your team is doing, because I can't imagine how frustrating it is for the police force to do the same thing over again and then know that they're probably gonna have to do it again. Hopefully not, but.
Kudos to the police department for finding the guy that
Yeah.
hit that bicyclist.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was huge.
Is that considered one of the fatals?
Yes.
That bike? Okay.
Yeah.
Where was the second one?
On 72.
On 72.
Mhm. That was a single vehicle, middle of the night,
Okay,
went off the road and flipped.
okay. It's just always really sad to see fatal accident in your own town, and honestly, I think these are the only ones that I've fatal since I've been on the board.
Bicyclist was bad.
Yeah.
What were you doing on a bicycle at midnight or one?
Unfortunately, the way that I understand it was that was her only method of transportation, and she was getting back and forth to work. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not everybody has a car.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
very, very tragic.
Any other,
Just a congratulations on all of the
was really hoping,
compliments, et cetera, that you got, and so
Yeah.
that's
I
it.
was really hoping you'd go uplifting at the end. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah.
Any other questions about any of the reports? Mr. Kelly, what do you got for BDC?
BDC met last week here on Wednesday. We discussed a couple of things. One, we discussed the survey results. So as you all know, years ago, Trustee Krajewski at the time, who was the BDC chair, had sent out a survey via social media asking residents, like, what kind of businesses would you like in town? What are the things that you're interested in? And our current BDC chair, Mr. Pizzolatto, sent out that same survey now. So I think it's an 8-year difference, correct? It was 8 years, I believe.
Yeah.
Between the previous results and this results, and we had considered, do you change questions or not? And it was decided, no, let's send the exact same survey because our community has changed a lot over 8 years. And let's see what people say. And the results came back. We had a pretty good response rate, over 300.
Yeah.
And a lot of the things stayed the same. Bakeries, hardware stores, while the demographics and the community itself has grown and changed, and it's interesting how much has stayed the same in the survey. So I know that the BDC chair is working with Mr. Khan to have a version of this put up on our website so all the residents can see, because I think the BDC also discussed that one of the really important things is when you ask the community for their feedback via survey or focus groups, that you should then let them know what was found from the feedback that they gave. And so we want to provide all of those survey results. So there'll be a summary, right? We're finding a way to summarize it because it's pretty lengthy. And we're going to also provide a link to the entire in-depth report of how everything was surveyed. And it's broken down by demographic. It's broken down by a ton of great information. And then there's also qualitative analysis tied to the numbers. So look for that soon. And thank you, Mr. Khan, for helping to get that on the web and get it out. We'll also post on social and do some things like that. It was just really interesting how much we've grown in 8 years, and yet a lot of people want the same stuff. Bakeries, anybody that owns a bakery, you're going to do really well in town. There's a lot of people that want bakeries, and of course a hardware store. So we did that. We talked, there wasn't much from any new business conversation. And the local businesses have heard, because there's been no applications for facade programs since we didn't budget for it this year. Mr. Swallow was good at being proactive to let the businesses know where there's no funds for this stuff here. So did I miss anything?
No.
Any questions on that or the survey or anything? And everybody should still be getting the report of like all the growth and development that's happening in the local area. So. That's it for BDC.
Thank you. Any other announcements? I have some, but anybody go first?
Just a thank you to whoever did the float for the veterans.
Karen.
Miss Karen.
That was awesome.
They had a ball and they really enjoyed it.
That was awesome.
They didn't give the driver such a good Yelp review.
No,
I don't care.
They got most.
I ain't got a license and I was drinking. But kudos to the board for walking behind and handing out the kazoos.
Yeah, I'm gonna,
Cause I kept trying to slow down as I saw the floats ahead of me getting further and further away.
Yeah, you did awesome.
I'm gonna extend a formal invitation to whoever thought of passing out kazoos to my house. My son would love to entertain you with the kazoo.
No, we kept telling,
Apartment
We
problem.
have a lot. Still big hand up.
Sitting right there is a bright idea.
No, I just went along with it.
Golding.
We, you know what, was great because people are like, oh, kazoo, I haven't had one of these in forever. And then they're like, oh, they don't work. I was like, you gotta hum at the same time. Like, so these kids don't even know how to use kazoos.
Well, he'll do private lessons too if you come on.
But we kept telling the kids that they work best at 5 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock at night.
I was telling them all that. 10:30 at night, 5 in the morning.
But it was great. And
It was fun.
our clerk here doesn't take enough credit for some of the stuff that she does. But this float with the birthday cake and everything, it was all your idea. And like, I know you had help, but like you were like the implementation specialist of this whole thing.
Terrible.
The veterans really liked it.
Because you guys had this idea and you said we should do a birthday cake, and then you're like, where are we gonna get a trailer? I was like, I think we know a guy. You know, and you guys did all of it after hours when you weren't working on our own time, and
Could have had a float.
hours on this thing. It was beautiful.
I will say too, I had as many adults ask me for kazoos as kids.
Oh, yeah.
So the kazoos
Yeah,
were
it was
good.
awesome.
It was awesome.
So it's
It
good.
was a lot of
Yes,
fun.
phenomenal.
And so with that, I want to thank the staff, all the staff. I mean, because it's kind of like our Hell Week, right? It's not a bad thing, but it's like I warned Mary Jo this year because this was her first time like fully into this. This is going to be like one thing after another, and it's going to be last minute, and we're going to be doing stuff that we wouldn't normally do. And we had this whole conversation about just be flexible and let the team do what they need to do. And she gets a call at like, what, 5 o'clock that same day, and they said, oh, the wind blew all the banners down and they have no way to get the stage down, so could we send the bucket truck over? And and so we had to pay the guys overtime to go over and put the banners up, but that's how we support it, right? So we love the events all over town. We try to support them all best we can. And
a shout out to our village attorney who helped serve with us Friday night and ran in the race.
He did great.
Saturday.
2K.
Yeah.
he did.
Great.
He did.
He did the Vaselli shuffle.
Ren. Thank you.
Yeah. So that we forgot about the car show. The car show went great. It was a little wet, but the car show went great. It was pretty well attended. And so that's it. That's all I got. Motion to adjourn, question mark?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Opposed? 3. Thanks, everyone.